Last spring, everything felt very limiting in many ways, but this new semester felt much richer and full of potential. Let's start with dissecting methodologies because the whole course helped me explore different tones this semester, something lighter, something more playful. Sophical was clearly a good start for that. In Sweet Venetian, she was playing a shadowing game and it sounded fun, so I decided to shadow strangers in the street just to see where it would lead me. So I started looking for items and clues as if we were in a video game. In the end, it was mostly about starting something and then just following the flow. It's also how I tried to work for all the portraits I did in technical skills. I prepared the lighting, a setup, then I would just get the subject in and give a general mood, but not too directive. I just want to let them be what they are and do what they do, starting from my impulse, and hopefully we end up finding the intersection where it works for them and for me. Back to dissecting methodologies, I also connected well with Stephen Gill's work. He has a sort of amateur scientist way of collecting specimens and creating random reactions. So I chose images from a video charged in emotional content, and I tried to add life to it by growing bacteria on the printed stills. And I just observed the reaction between image and matter, between living and not living. It really made me realize that I miss making messy experiments and I want to find more space for that in my practice. The project course gave me the occasion to combine many of these elements of methodology. I explored the topic of transhumanism. It deals with how we are evolving and fusioning with technologies and how it is changing what sort of beings we are and what we are becoming. It led me to the question of the connection between body and mind and self consciousness. To what extent is a physical body necessary to feel this is me? Or could we feel complete as pure virtual selves? As a first part, I spent time exploring virtual worlds created by others. They were all temporary and mostly deserted. I realized that they were finite and had edges from which my avatar could jump into the unknown. I collected these runs and looked for a way of showing them that would give a sense of being virtual. None of them was fully satisfying, and with more time, I would like to look into immersive media. It's something that matters for me not only for this work, how images now can be interacted with and even entered. In parallel to that, I explored another approach that is part project and part Hack by IST. I worked on a deconstructed skin, materiality and movement on one side, sense of touch externalized, and finally texture as image and light. It's all digital and analog mixed in every part. It's a project that I would like to keep evolving and to add more layers to it. I will end with my final work for dissecting methodologies. I chose as a reference artist a French duo named Hippolyte Engen. Inspired by their reinterpretation works, I searched for my own field of visual references and I made my own sort of collages. The underlying theme is metabolism, how we take in, break apart, and reuse elements in our own practice, consciously or in other depths. It's a messy work with an unfixed outcome. I like the idea that it should keep being modified all the time, not necessarily by me. It's in itself the methodology that I want to maintain, but also be more aware of how it happens and what I borrow from.